flashy comments about it or whatever. He says, but if you put it across correctly in the way that you mean it, then it will be accepted and taken for what it is. And it was, you know, a deep learning process. It was a very difficult period of time, but it was still terrifying.
Have you had positive and negative response to the drink and the drugs, the lap dance and the phone?
There wasn't any drugs. No, there wasn't any drugs. So the drink and the lap dancing. Have I had any negative comments? No.
That's amazing.
I haven't.
So that proves that how you put it across in the book.
Yeah, I hope so. I guess not that it's a negative thing, but I guess I've had a lot of sad responses from people who knew me then and wished that I had been able to reach out to them and been able to talk to them. I don't see that necessarily as a negative response, but certainly there's been sadness expressed to me that I went through that and didn't really talk about it at the time. Yeah.
How, when you finally let the book go and the book went to be published, was there a sense of relief? Was there a sense of like, that's it, it's done, it's out there? Or did that sort of anxiety still sit for a little while?
Both at the same time. Mm-hmm. There was both a sense of, well, thank goodness that's done, and I'm delighted it's done, and I feel proud of it, and I'm happy with it. But there was also a kind of sense of impending, what happens now? What happens next? But that's okay, that's just part of it. You know, there's been massive learning in the whole process of writing the book in itself, and then a whole different set of learning in allowing it to go out there and to be read. So yeah, it's been a journey, all right. It's been a process.
And of course now comes so you've already written the book, you've already gone through it all, and now you've got people like me asking you questions about it all. You know? I mean, is it getting easier to talk about it and discuss it and accept that it's now out there and that the world knows?
Yeah, I think it is. The launch was just last Saturday, just a few days ago there, and that for me was the marker point of, okay, you know, anybody who's going to come along, friends, family, or people who don't know me, then it's out there. Mm-hmm. And that's the time when people are going to want to ask me the most questions once it's launched and once it's sort of out there. So the more I talk about it, the easier it gets. Doesn't mean that it's easy, but
have people asked you bizarre questions or things that you're inside your head going, I cannot believe you asked me that?
Not yet.
Not yet. Now is the time. No.
Are you going to ask me?
No, I'm absolutely not. And the process of becoming an author, I mean, do you remember holding the book for the first time?
Yes. There was some books went to my publishers in Galway, Book Hub Publishing, because the book's in a lot of bookshops down south, and a lot of them came up to me in boxes for some bookshops up here and for me to sell at the launch and to give out to people. So when they were delivered to my house was the point where the boxes were sitting there, and I sort of sat in front of them for a while thinking, okay, I'll just have a cup of tea before I open these, and it was
wow, seriously? Even when it's somebody else's book, because we publish books, I literally rip the box open.
No, I sat in front of it for about 45 minutes.
Serious? Wow.
Yeah, and I thought, okay, just a few deep breaths and another cup of tea and another cup of tea, and then I just ripped the box open and burst into tears when I held it in my hand, because it was just like the most beautiful gift ever. It was just fantastic, so I was delighted with it.
I mean, I've spoken to an awful lot of musicians and authors over the years, and they say that moment where you're finally holding it, you know, is such a special moment that you never forget it.
That's right. It absolutely was. It really, really was.
What about, have you seen it on a shelf in a bookshop yet?
Yeah, I have. It's in a bookshop in Stranmillis called Book, Paper, Scissors. So yes, I've been in and seen it.
Did you creep in to have a wee look, or?
Yeah, sort of snuck in. No. Yeah, I mean, I did. I've seen it up on the shelves in there, and it's really bizarre. You know, it's a really strange feeling. I think I find that more of a strange feeling than holding it in my hands at all, because, to be honest with you, you know, I don't feel like an author. It's a strange feeling. It's people say to me, "Oh, you're an author now," and I go, "Oh, right, am I?" No, but I'm not. I just wrote a story about myself. I just wrote about myself. So it's strange to see it up there between other books of people who I would sort of, but they're the proper writers. Do you know?
So it's still sinking in.
Yeah, it's still sinking
that
in.
idea of being an author.
Yeah, it's completely sinking in. It's a bizarre feeling.
I know myself. I launched a book at a punk festival in England, and was standing around, and I had sold it into a couple of different stalls, and I was walking around and I saw somebody with it in their hand, and they'd obviously bought it. I was like, Bridget, to my friend, look, they've got my book, I don't know them, they've got my book. And it was this absolute excitement because it was somebody else. But then, like, literally moments later, oh my God, they've got my book. Oh my God, they've got my book. What are they going to do? Oh, they're going to look at it. Oh, quick, let's go. And I mean, they couldn't have possibly known who I was. I was just this girl standing miles away from me. But it was that roller coaster of emotion that I went through. And is that still happening?
Oh yes, oh yes. It's not easing yet. I woke up this morning and I was sort of getting myself prepared for coming here, and I just remember getting that sort of gut-wrenching feeling again of, oh, it's not easing, it's not getting any easier, you know, but an excitement with it.
Yes.
But just that feeling of, okay, so here we go, you know, again.
Let's get the game face on.
Yeah, let's get, oh no, I don't have a game, I'm not able to, I just can't hide how I feel, and that's it, so.
And of course now you have moved into from being the person who is being counselled to being able to counsel others.
Yeah.
Was this part of the plan that the book would sort of bolster that part of your new career?
Well, I've been qualified in counselling for years now, so the book wasn't to bolster that as such. And I have taken a break from that while I'm doing this because I just couldn't possibly focus or have the energy for everything. What I'm hoping is that when I get back to it shortly, which I will, that it's something that, bolster it, I guess, and something that I can maybe pass on to clients. But it wasn't done with the agenda of being a career booster, to be honest with you, Tina. It was done genuinely because I wanted it to reach out to people who would need it.
And have you had response back yet? Has it been out long enough to have response from people who've helped?
But although the launch was on Saturday, I've had copies of the book, and there's been copies on sale in Limerick and Galway and Cork and soon Dublin as well as Belfast. So there have been quite a few already, quite a lot sold before the actual launch happened, which was a little bit roundabout and was unusual, but it's just the way it happened with the timing of it. So I've had a huge amount of messages to my own personal social media and to my publishers as well, Niall and McElwee. It would probably maybe be a couple of hundred by now at this stage, just from people saying how much it's helped them, how much they can relate to it, but they were maybe afraid to say so in their day-to-day lives, and how much it's inspiring them to come out and talk about their own stories. And that's all that matters to me. It was never a publicity thing for me to sort of look like, oh, here I am, you know, a really famous author or whatever, or look what I've done, isn't it great? It's the personal messages from the people that it's touched that actually prove to me that okay,
why you did it in the first
why
place.
I did it in the first place, and that's what matters.
And do you think that there could be more to this? You know, like, have you been invited to do speaking events or anything yet? Because I'm talking to you and thinking, oh my God, you'd be an amazing speaker. You know,
Thanks very
but
much.
because it's just such a wonderful story, and the fact that you now have a career, you know, in the one thing that got you through it in the end. Do you see then more to it? Do you see another book, for example?
There's a few things lined up. I've been invited down to a university in Galway to do a lecture about mental health. I've been asked to do a chapter in a millennials book, Millennials for Mental Health, in spring. There's a second book being discussed with the publisher, but it would be a workbook, as in a self-help workbook, where there's questions posed to help the reader investigate their own perceptions and beliefs, and they can actually write in the book, so it's like a workbook, self-help book. So, but you know, that'll be not. I'm not going to start working on that for a while because I do want to focus on this one. So, and there's a few talks around Belfast and so far that I've been asked to do. So. It just, to be honest, right now it just feels like the beginning, and I'm really open to whatever comes from it. If it's for the purpose of actually being of benefit to others, that's I'm open to that, open to anything for that. So.
And a lot of people that I've spoken to in recent years, you can hear in their, in their discussions, the frustrations with, I suppose, being able to access help for people, when it comes to mental health issues. And certainly you have quite a long running, from the bullying and at the very beginning right the way through into adulthood, and then how that affected, adulthood. What would you say to people out there who are working with young people or who are connected to people that they could?
Luckily, these days we have a lot more awareness around mental health, and especially around bullying. There's a lot of awareness around the impacts of bullying on school children, so I know that that's out there and is being pushed, and that wasn't around whenever I was young. I guess what I would say is that it's incredibly important. A child's mental health is really affects the rest of their lives and how they're made up as a person. I always describe it like a computer program. Like a child's brain up until the age of 7 or 8 is like a computer program, and their environment and what they experience is the program that's put into them, and you then act out of that for the rest of your life. Now, what I look at counselling as is something that can help you to heal that and reprogram and work with that. So I don't mean that people are stuck with it.
I know what you mean,
But I mean, if they don't get help or reach out or find organisations or people that they can talk to and go and get help, then it continues and it continues and it continues. And it's just, to me, a child's mental health is something that should be nurtured and looked after and paid much more attention to than it ever has been before.
Would you say that had your bullying either not have happened or been addressed early on, that the life choices you made may not have been made?
Absolutely. It would have been entirely different, because the life choices I made up until that point, after that point, the life choices I made after that point were made out of a place of feeling absolutely zero self-esteem or self-worth, and trying somehow desperately to either escape that or repair it in the wrong way. So if that hadn't have happened, or it had been, I had actually spoken about it earlier instead of hiding it, well then I wouldn't have been feeling that way and then made those choices. So
really the key is that we have to get kids when they're young and teach them that it is okay to talk about mental health issues, and really, I suppose, as adults,
absolutely
addressing those and taking them seriously.
Yeah, the younger that a child's mental health can be paid attention to, the less damage is done later on in life. Absolutely. So it's important for any parent or guardian or foster carer or school teacher or any adult with any authority or presence in the children's life to really focus in on that and nurture it and look after it and pay attention to it and take care of it. Think of it as a glass that you don't want to smash.
Yeah, that's a really nice way of putting it.
It takes a long time to glue it back together.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anna, I'm just getting the information. I have to make sure I get the publisher details right. So it's Coming Out of the Dark by Anna Gray, and it's published by
Book Hub Publishing. So the book can be bought on bookhubpublishing.com or in Book Paper Scissors bookshop on the Strandnellis Road in Belfast.
And is it available on Amazon or anything yet?
Not yet, but it will be soon. Yeah.
Okay, that's brilliant. So that's Coming Out of the Dark by Anna Gray. Thank you so much for coming in to talk to me. And we are in Curated Kitchen on Donegal Street in Belfast. So a big thank you to them for putting up with us as well.